Hey everybody, this morning I am in downtown Westfield on a super sunny day. I can hardly keep my eyes open right now. And I'm actually in the brand new Grand Junction Plaza. So this is something talked about in videos in the past, and this has been in the works for really quite some time for Westfield, but it's part of a whole new development plan, redevelopment plan for the downtown area of Westfield. And I'm looking over the intersection of Union and State Road 32 just back here off of my shoulder, and that's kind of where the downtown proper of Westfield really is. It's not very big, but this right here is kind of the first really big step in that redevelopment process. So we're going to explore this a little bit, talk about it some, and see what Westfield has in mind for the future. So stay tuned. Hey everybody, I'm Jason Compton with the Compton Home Group. Welcome back to the channel. If you want to know everything there is to know about living in Westfield, Indiana, Indianapolis, Indiana, or any of the surrounding cities and towns, then make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also tap that little bell so you're notified every time we do a new video. Now we have people reaching out to us from all over the country with certainly questions about Westfield, Indiana, but also Indianapolis, nearby Fishers, nearby Noblesville, nearby Carmel, and south side too, like Greenwood, or the southwest side like Plainfield. So if you have questions about any of the cities and towns surrounding Indianapolis and Indianapolis itself, then make sure you reach out any way you know how. We'll always have your back with those questions, and we'll certainly have your back when it comes time for you to make your move to the Indy Metro. All right guys, again, super sunny day. Kind of need some shade for my eyes here, but I wanted to get into Westfield a little bit and come back to Grand Junction. This video is being filmed early in 2022, and Grand Junction Plaza, it's not just opened, but this is really gonna be the first full year that this really awesome place is gonna be open, and residents of Westfield and even people outside of Westfield can come and enjoy it and see what it has to offer. So this is my first time here actually seeing it completely finished, which is pretty cool. So Union Street is off to the east of me, and State Road 32 and Union Street, as I said at the beginning of the video, is just right up to the northeast of where I'm standing right now. And this is New Jersey Plaza, because we got New Jersey Road just right back over here, so named after that. But this New Jersey Plaza, it's right next to actually some really nice restrooms, which is fantastic because New Jersey Plaza is right, and this is just a place where you can kind of hang out, sit, and just be. You can see tables set up here and there, but it's next to the Great Lawn. So if I go up, and this New Jersey Plaza is kind of sitting down a little bit, but if I come up this way, I'm on this crushed gravel, and you look behind me, you can actually see the Great Lawn there. The Great Lawn has a stage, and it is sloped down, so it's kind of a stadium seating style. Can't remember how I said that. That sounded strange. But anyway, so they'll have outdoor concerts, of course it's outdoors, weather permitting, that kind of thing here. And obviously this is a big spot, so it's gonna be able to seat a lot of people. Now all the cities, for the most part surrounding Indianapolis, decent sized cities, they have their own outdoor amphitheater. And this is really Westfield's first one. There's Cool Creek Park really close by, and that's where a lot of people from Westfield go, and that's an awesome place. That's a phenomenal park. Very different than this, but this is actually in the center, in the heart of Westfield. So really cool spot. Behind me over here, this is just a pavilion, a cafe pavilion with a super cool wall going around the outside, this stone wall, but it does have some glass and doors on the other side where you can actually get in. But again, it's a cafe pavilion type thing. So across the way though, got another tiny amphitheater, and the sun might get in our way on this one a little bit, but this one is called, let me jump down here, this is kind of a playground for everybody, but there's a real playground on the other side of the creek here. But we've got the WETLAND amphitheater over there on that side. So a really pretty large plaza with multiple areas of multiple things to do. Really cool for sure, and obviously very brand new. So Westfield and this downtown area, I wanted to discuss that just a little bit. This downtown area has been a place that has become pretty important to Westfield and its growth. Westfield only had, in the year 2000, just a little under 10,000 people, and now it's pushing in 2022, 50,000 people. So obviously most things in Westfield are, for the most part, 20-ish years old. Maybe a little bit older than that, and then of course younger than that too. So Westfield for the most part is really new. It's had to do that because of its explosive growth. And this is a really good example of it in trying to keep a personality, a cultural heart to Westfield, and putting something like this in here is vitally important in doing that. Now, there is a little bit of a battle in Westfield because Westfield also has a pretty big history. It has a really cool history, actually, associated with the railroads and especially the Underground Railroad. There's quite a reputation here in Westfield and a history associated with that, which is really cool. It's one of the things you can go and research. But some of the major parks here in Westfield are named after some of the most prominent figures that you're going to find in the Underground Railroad because they actually lived in this particular area. Really, really cool. And that's a whole topic for another video for sure. But downtown Westfield, which is not very big, but it does have some really cool buildings, and it is on the National Register of Historic Places. So there's this battle in Westfield of trying to keep the old with the new. So it is an old city. I mean, it's used to be a town, it's a city now. That's a whole other topic, of course, but trying to maintain some of that personality that it had then and keeping it into as it's growing or keeping up with the growth, and obviously having to build so many new things and trying to mix those two. So on State Road 32, that is a very, very busy road, and as Westfield has gotten bigger, of course, State Road 32 has gotten more busy. But since it's gotten more busy, roads to the south have gotten more busy. They're taking on some of the traffic for people that don't want to go along State Road 32. So there is a plan in the near future to start widening State Road 32. Instead of just the 2-lane road that it is, they're going to try to make it a 4-lane road going through there. Well, some of these historic buildings and some of historic downtown Westfield, they're going to be affected by that. And so that is one of the battles that people are kind of facing here in Westfield, is how do we mix the old and the new together to the point where it still preserves some of that Westfield feel of having a very rich, very deep history along with the new to keep up with the growth. So the growth is inevitable. It is a very, very popular place, and places like this with Grand Junction Plaza, it's gonna just make it even more popular. And then New Jersey Street, where you've got Restaurant Row, a ton of different restaurants going through there. You can walk, you can park here, walk to those. You can see a concert here when they start over on the Great Lawn, or even potentially over here in the Wetland Amphitheater for something a little bit smaller. It'll just continue to get better and better. So this is just a little tour of Grand Junction Plaza, the brand new Grand Junction Plaza. Again, I haven't been here in a while. Last time I was here, it was still pretty raw and under construction, and I've driven by it a ton of times and tried to see what the progress looked like, but it's hard to. It's easier to park and get out and see what it actually looks like. This Wetland Amphitheater is really, really cool. Really small, just awesome, right here along the creek. Playground over here. Pretty cool playground, that's for sure. I know the next time my wife, my kids were up this way, we'll definitely try to hit this and test it out ourselves. But Westfield, on its way up for sure, definitely has its eyes on being a premier place to live around Indianapolis, and I think they're doing a pretty good job. But just like any fast-growing city, you're always going to run into some growing pains, and it's hard to figure out how to get past some of those. But I think Westfield's doing a really pretty good job with that. So if you have questions at all about anything Westfield, whether it has to do with Grand Junction Plaza or just Westfield in general, if it's a fit for you or maybe it's not a fit for you, then make sure you reach out any way that you know how. And until the next one, we'll see you later.